Hello, welcome back to another devlog. This morning, I just want to show you guys how I'm doing the GUIs in my game. So most Roblox devs, they're gonna create a screen GUI or GUI in the player uh, starter GUI. What I do instead is I use a declarative UI library called Pract, and there is I'm using this because, well, first of all, I'm a firm believer in source source code control, and even though it's gonna be hard for Roblox GUI designers to do their stuff, I still believe that having a source code where you can basically populate these GUIs on the player screen is very beneficial. And I don't think the performance difference is really that big because GUI are should be pretty simple. It's the other game mechanics that are costly. So instead of like having a GUI preloaded, what this library does is, if you ever heard of React, it builds the GUI based on the different state. So for example, if the inventory is open or not, I have an attribute variable right here called false. When the context action service is pressed, when B or the console binding is pressed, it sets the self.open equals to not of that state. And then with Pract, I create a class component and I initialize, unmount, and render these. So on the loop, it would change the state, and every time it changes the state, the GUI will refresh. And in fact, you can one of its fundamental of all your GUI needs is covered, except for having the actual workload of coding all out. That's the only difference. There's no cons to this. You look right here. When I can even set uh, events as well. When it's activated, I change the state, and that is a signal to rebuild the GUI. So yeah, create a GUI of like this, and the structure is very simple. If you're interested, then I would say to look at the Pract GUI library. Don't just check the dev forum post. Go to the documentation where everything is more updated. Um, I can show you. I can show you an example of it, the post being outdated, and I remember that it cost me some time to figure this out. UI right here. So it was this, the mount and the prac.mount. So prac.mount, turn that. Sorry, let me try to remember like why was it that I didn't have a great time because whatever in here is pretty outdated, and if you're getting errors, then it's probably because this excerpt is very outdated. And how you access the documentation is right here, sign out found. She really need to update that. Go to GitHub, and this is where you'll access it. Anyway, just something interesting. If you ever worked with one of the big web frameworks like React, it uses very similar terms like components, state, props. It's very simple. And again, benefits is having source control. You can also, if you have an existing GUI already, you can get to the GUI itself as a template. So templating, yeah, you can have your GUI designer create their template for you, and all you do is you're gonna change the properties with the decorate and stamp method, and the besides that you can change the state, and that's all you need. Again, it's for source control. I'm a firm believer in, if you know how to code, you should put everything in, try to code out everything as possible. And that's why I love Rojo. It's a development becomes a programmer centric project and not just a builder or I don't know. And that's what I like. And it sounds like the modern web looks like as well, because you're coding out your GUI, your HTML, CSS. So yeah, if you're what are real benefits of using this is preference, honestly. I just need source code control so that I can commit to Git and not have to deal with Rojo importing .rbxmx files. So yeah, that's it for today's video, and it's probably not helpful, but I hope hopefully it's interesting, at least because first of all, I haven't seen a video at all on the Pract UI library, so it's just something interesting. And also, this UI library is pretty old, but it's still functional if you read the docs, because Roblox like features barely change as sad as it sounds. They only improve like so little that it's like little features that's added to this, and the library is made in a way that you can create newer UI instances types as well, because you're passing a string and it's basically a wrapper that will create that for you with instance.new. So it's not really something that's outdated compared to, let's say, a testing library. So yeah, or Roact actually. Roact is hella old, and this library is just much more simple. Anyways, have a good day, and I barely have any time for recording, as you know, school and my part-time job restarted over break. But I will, try and keep up with development, if you care or not. And if you care, then I don't know, subscribe and hear progress on my game and some other dev content. And I promise you, it will rise in quality and not just a straight up unedited video. Or you like it this way, then I'll keep it this way. Good night.